Week 8 NFL picks, let's go. Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me. Last week was the first week I did NFL spread picks and totals. Here are the results. As always, I rank these on my confidence, green being the most confident, yellow average confidence, and red no confidence. And as you can see for the spread, that kind of played out perfectly. We went 3-1 on green picks, 2-2 on yellow picks, and 1-3 on red picks, almost a perfect mirror of each other. And this pink column is my extra most bestest. You could sponsor me, Little Caesars, if you'd like. Pick of the week and our spread pick, Eagles -2 cash, so we are 1-0 there for an overall spread record of 7-6. Yes, I am double counting this. We'll consider this a 2-unit play. We'll double count it. It'll work itself out. As for totals, 50% on green, pretty bad on yellow, and not great on red. We have 16 games in week 8. There are no bye weeks, so we will try to fly through this. The Buccaneers visit the Bills on Thursday night. And if there's one team colder than the Bills right now, it is the Buccaneers. They have not scored 14 points in 3 out of their last 4. However, their defense is keeping them in games, and their defense has only allowed a team to go over 20 points once this season. So that is pretty impressive, and they visit a sputtering Bills team who has to turn it around. Until last week, the Bills' defense was looking solid. They did not look great against the Patriots, but they do have 3 players on IR. So I am not confident in this pick. I just, maybe this is a desperation shot for me. I think the Bills have to win this to keep up with Miami in the division. So give me the Bills -8.5 in a low confidence pick. And, with these two defenses generally looking good, I will take the under 42.5. Dallas comes off a bye and is at home, which they have played exceptionally well at home. Now, their competition has been weak. They've played only the Jets and the Patriots at home. But I do think this bye week and this home game helps. If we look at the Rams, 3 out of their 4 losses this year have been by 7 points. Now, all of those were in LA, which I think is kind of bizarre. I'm going to call this team the Forrest Gump box of chocolates team because I don't know what I'm going to get. I did pick the Steelers last week +3 against the Rams and that won. I still don't know what this Rams team is truly capable of. I do think they have a tough schedule, so I feel bad in that way, but I would take the Cowboys -6.5 and the under 45 in this one. Super bizarre NFC North matchup, and I am not sure what to do with this because the Vikings are starting to look good and the Packers are establishing themselves as a bad football team. The thing is, the Packers are susceptible to run and the Vikings love to drop back and pass. So if they can get Alexander Madison and Cam Akers going this one, I think that -1 is a great spot. But after a tough Monday Night Football win, an emotional win against a great conference team, is this a letdown spot? This reminds me of last week with Detroit. Everybody was on Detroit +3 in that game. And this feels like a Detroit +3 situation. I think everybody is going to be on Vikings -1, and I am too, but that's why it's red, because I'm just not sure if this is kind of a trap spot. Now, the Packers are bad. They have 3 straight losses, 1 to Denver and 1 to Vegas. And if they didn't score 18 points in the fourth quarter against the Saints a few weeks ago, this would be a 1-5 football team. So give me the under with a little more confidence, but I just think it's a weird, funky divisional spot where I'm not so sure the Vikings are going to come in and walk away with it easily. The Titans are coming off a bye and hosting the Falcons, who I have called one of the most worthless, overrated teams in the NFL. They do have the easiest strength of schedule that is confirmed, that is data-backed. It cannot be argued. I feel bad a little bit because this team is loaded with young talent, but I feel like they have no guidance. They have Ritter, they have Pitts, they have London, they have Robinson, and they have not scored over 21 points in 5 weeks. What are we doing? All right? That's unacceptable. Now, the Titans have been pretty bad themselves, and I'm confused why Malik Willis is not starting this game. Ryan Tannehill is still questionable with an ankle injury, and they just announced this morning, I woke up to an alert that Will Levis is going to start. Malik Willis has made constant plays for you guys, and you're just doing him absolutely dirt socks, and I don't get it at all, but this will be the easiest games the Titans play all year. They've had a brutal schedule of their own, so Titans +3 is a high confidence bet for me this week. And I like the over 36 in this one. I think it could get sloppy. I think there could be some big plays. So over 36, I think it's a low total anyway, but low confidence pick for me. Another one that's a little tricky for me, the Saints visit the Colts, who have another home game. Confused. I feel like every game the Colts play is at home. The Colts defense is looking rough. 4 out of their last 7 opponents, or 4 opponents this whole season, have scored over 25 points. And I think the Colts do have a little bit of a luxury in being able to mirror what Jacksonville did to the Saints. The Saints defense has looked great all year, but Jacksonville was able to exploit them. I think Jacksonville got the ball moving, got Lawrence out on some play action, some rollouts, some big passes. If Minshew can find a reliable wide receiver, Michael Pittman is throwing this hissy fit. Maybe I'm just not involved in the offense. What do you mean, bro? Like, it's just makes me mad. Josh Downs is coming into form, so maybe this team will be able to do something against the Saints. However, I think with the Saints mini bye week, I think back against the wall with the Falcons coming up in the division, actually taking the division lead, this should be a spot where the Saints can come through and cover that plus 1.5 number. Again, we just saw a 60-point Colts game last week, so I like the over in this one because the Saints defense does have some question mark. And Chris Olave got arrested Monday. Who knew? You see it right here on the screen. My Green Means Go stamp of approval bet, the extra most bestest play. We have the Patriots plus 9.5. Yes, they have some newfound momentum possibly against the Bills this week, and they have an easier week this week against Miami's defense than they did last week against the Bills. Now, this was a game that has already been played this year. They played in Foxborough, and the Patriots lost by 7 in week 2. So I know they're on the road, and I know the Dolphins are fantastic at home, but give me plus 9.5 against what I call the Colorado Buffaloes of the NFL in Miami with a great offense, but a very questionable defense. And if there is one coach in the NFL who can plan for your weaknesses, and the Dolphins' weaknesses is their defense, it's Bill Belichick. So I expect him to come in and cover that 9.5 monster spread and give me the over 47. This game's a hard pass. I like the Jets -3 and I like the under, but ultimately, I don't care. Tricky spot here in Pittsburgh. Jacksonville has been a team that I have my eye on all year. I've spoke highly of them. I am a Jags truther, but they struggled late against New Orleans, and if Foster Moreau didn't drop that pass, they would have lost the game. I would put Jacksonville as a top 5 offense in the NFL. Call me crazy. I think they have the weapons, but can they put it all together? I don't know if they've completely done that yet. We've seen flashes of it, but we need to see more consistency from this team. The Steelers are a quiet team, and this is a team that has the keys in their hand, but can they unlock the door? That's the best way I put it. They had a big win last week against the Rams. They got some help late from the refs, so I don't know. I do think this is a legit wildcard team in the AFC if they can just string together some wins as we get into the second half of the season. No confidence in any of these picks, but I would go Steelers plus 2.5 at home and the over 42. Another matchup we've already seen this year when the Commanders gave the Eagles some trouble at home in week 4. I, however, do not think this is the same game that we saw then. My only fear against this green -6.5 is a backdoor cover. Again, like I said, this is not the same week 4 matchup. I think the Eagles can put up 28 to 31 points on this defense, and I don't see the Commanders being able to keep pace and score over 20. The Commanders are struggling against teams that are dynamic, with fast offenses, with playmakers at QB, period. Go look at all their losses, all right? It's against quarterbacks who can get out of the pocket, who can move, and who can manipulate defenses with their feet, and Jalen Hurts can do just that, and they are allowing over 28 points at home. Where's home field advantage? It's gone. 2 teams coming off the bye and 2 teams I don't care about. I would take the Texans -3 in the over if I had to pick. A tricky spot here for the Seahawks, who do stay at home, but they've struggled at home. This is a team who had the biggest home field advantage in years past with the Legion of Boom. Not the same anymore, but I do think they are a balanced team who can move the ball with the run, with the pass, and can play good defense, but they are sloppy at times, and I'm just not sure if this is a line overreaction. I don't know if Seattle should be getting 3 points favored at home, okay? I think the Browns were in a tough game last week. Watson goes out with an injury. He's expected to start, although Walker has looked better. Their defense looked rough last week, allowing 30 to the Colts. So I think this is a bit of an overreaction, and so give me the Browns +3. I think they're better than that number, and I do like the over 39.5 as a green high-confidence pick. Again, both these teams can put up 21 in this game, so give me the over. Holy smokes, we see another repeat matchup, and this one was 2 weeks ago, and we saw a 19-8 final score. Again, I like the Chiefs to cover in this one, -7.5, and my second best bet, extra most bestest stamp of approval, green means go slam of the week, is the under 46.5. I think this is a 28-10 game. I know last week in the comments, I got some hate. You're expecting the Chiefs to cover and the under? That doesn't make any sense. I realize mathematically that's not the best way to play it, but it cashed last week. Let's do it again. I just don't think the Broncos can put up points on this Chiefs defense. Battle of the Birds in Arizona. This Ravens team may be the hottest team in the NFL. They have a strong defense, and they just shut down the Lions, who were previously the hottest team in the NFL. I think Lamar is one of the hardest guys to game plan for, even with mediocre weapons. Yes, I said it. He has mediocre weapons. I'm sorry. I realize that Zay Flower is young. He's explosive. But if you look at the running backs and the receivers, yes, Mark Andrews, a dog. He could have better weapons, but he's still getting it done. So give me the Ravens -8. And I like the under in this one. The Cardinals' only win came against Dallas. I just kind of feel bad for Dobbs. He knows Murray is coming back sooner rather than later. And it's just kind of this awkward spot of I'm just doing someone else's job until they get back. He's like a substitute quarterback. It just feels weird. I don't trust this team. So -8, under 44. The game in Santa Clara should be fantastic. And I'm going to lean 49ers -5.5. I think this is a soft number due to recent performances we've seen from the Niners, a loss 2 weeks in a row. But they do get to go back home against a Bengals team that is starting to get hot but has struggled at the beginning of the season. So they are off a bye week. Can they exploit San Francisco's defense? If this game was in Cincinnati, I would say maybe, but I don't think they're going to walk into Santa Clara and be able to put up a ton of points against this defense, who, yes, has struggled a bit in recent weeks. So I do like -5.5 in a low confidence play, but I feel really good about this under 45.5. I think it'll be a hard fought game, a 2014, 2017 type game. I think there's a great opportunity to get the Bears in a perfect spot here against the Chargers. So green play, high confidence play, Bears +8.5, and I do lean the over 46.5. No Justin Fields, no problem. This little Badgett guy has been running around, and I think he can cook against this Chargers secondary, who is one of the worst in the NFL. The Chargers, I don't know if they can stop the bleeding. It's hard to game plan for a quarterback who's only played one game, so that's advantage Bears in my opinion. Here's my question for this team, man. Does Eckler exist? Does he play for them anymore? Yeah, he's been hurt, but he's back. Is he not healthy? Kellen Moore was the coordinator for the Cowboys. He's coached Pollard and Zeke. He knows how to incorporate a talented back, and he has failed to do so in the last 2 games. I don't know if he's going to fix it, and until I see signs of it, I will gladly take a team +8.5 against him. And finally, our Monday Night Football matchup, we have the Raiders against the Lions, who did disappoint us this week, but I will go back to the well, and I will take them over a touchdown, -8 for a high-confidence play. Jimmy G is supposed to be back this week, but I just don't think this Raiders defense can stop the Lions offense. There's too much drama with Devontae Adams. Where's Josh Jacobs been? It's Eckler 2.0. I don't know what I'm going to get week to week from this team. I think the Lions have a lot to prove after last week, and I think they will do just that against a pretty soft matchup against the Raiders. So, again, -8. This is a pounce back spot. It's a Lion joke, all right? I do think they put up 28 points and hold the Raiders under 17. So that is Week 8 picks. Best of luck if you tail any of these. This is not gambling advice. This is just for fun and entertainment. If you like the content, a like and subscribe go a long way as I continue to grow my channel. Take care, and we will see you for our NCAA picks in a few days.